Hello everyone, and every now and again I'm going to be looking at the news. I thought this seems like an interesting week, and I'll have a quick look at the news. I've got a little bit of time in my hands this week for the first time in a long time, and so I thought, let's have a look, see what's going on. And it's been quite a good week, really. Here's the first fun item. Muslim teen awarded £4,000 over headscarf snub. Right, okay, so why was this teenage Muslim woman, or that girl if you like, doesn't say how old she was, but she's a teenager, so old enough to work, 16 to 19, something like that. Okay, yeah, she went for a job, and bear in mind, she went for a job, she's not actually been given a job, she went for a job at a hairdresser's, and she wears the full headscarf gear. And this particular place is a sort of trendy salon for young people, have their hairs cut, obviously. It says, likes to be styled in alternative ways. And the owner of this particular hairdressers, or salon as they like to be called, decided that he likes his employees, you know, to have their hair on show, and after all it is that sort of place, and I can understand that. And he said, well, no, not really. I mean, are you prepared to you know, have your hair done? And no, I wear a headscarf. Yeah, okay. Well, you're probably not the sort of person we're really looking for. It wouldn't look right in the salon, really. I assume this is the sort of way it went. As far as I can tell, there was no real sort of exchange of words in big ways. There's no real huge argument or anything, but this young girl went off and took them to court for saying that she wasn't given this job because she was wearing a headscarf. Well, that's actually true, of course. She wasn't given the job at a hair salon because she wears a headscarf. And what happened? Well, obviously, this being Britain, and Britain being quite an amusing place when it comes to the law, decided that it would go in her favour, as there was, it said, okay, she'd not been treated differently because of her Muslim headscarf, but it doubted that there was a severe risk to the business of employing someone wearing a head covering, as the owner believed. Well, so there you go, $8,000 that is, about £4,000 she gets for going for a job interview and complaining that she didn't get the job. And in my opinion, you know, if that guy in the hair salon just doesn't want somebody there wearing a headscarf, it's his bloody salon. I mean, what are they playing at? It's his. Why can't he employ who he wants? It's not like he wasn't. She wears a headscarf, and it's a hair salon. Okay, he's not saying. Don't get me wrong. Now, if a man is bald, for instance, you can't really help that being bald, and he could have been all his life a hairdresser, and that's different. I mean, you're not really going to worry too much about that, but. In a woman's fashion industry, where people are having their hair done like this, and it's not really a Muslim place. That's not a place where the clients were Muslim. Seeing someone in a hair scarf is not necessarily going to be very good for business, and I would back him on that. I don't think it would. I mean, the judge says it would, but I don't. I don't think it'd be good for business at all. She's probably very nice, very pleasant, and the rest of it, but it's a hair salon. It's a bit like, let's put it this way, if someone in a wheelchair, for instance, who can't help being in a wheelchair, of course, goes to a professional football club and says, I want to be a footballer, it's not going to work, is it? And it's quite obvious from the start. And also, if I was going to go to, say, I wanted to be a pole dancer. Now, it's not usually a male thing, but if I went to this job interview to be a pole dancer and they'd said, well, you can't because you're a man, I go, that's sexist, that's bloody sexist. The fact that I'm like pretty fat and ugly in that sense, you know, wouldn't enter into it, would it? Still, my point is, it's stupid. It is stupid. It should never have gone to court. It should have just been left at that. The salon owner, can make his own decision. And getting 4,000 quid just for going for a job interview, in my opinion, is telling the world what a bunch of pillocks we have in our legal system. This isn't a racist issue either, in my opinion. It's just, I can't see why he would want to employ someone with a headscarf on. Anyway, what else we had in the news this week? Well, there's an absolute classic, of course. Absolute classic. Abu Qatada. Yes, you may have heard this name. He's an Islamic cleric, a particularly sort of outspoken Islamic cleric, who was a particular. For the 9/11 bombers, for instance, they had over 19 of his speeches were found in their possessions afterwards. He's that sort of cleric. He's not. Now, what did he do? Well, he got released from jail. He got released from jail because the British government had no real reason to keep him, because he hasn't broken any laws in the UK. The fact that he actually arrived in Britain in, I believe, 1990 something, on a false passport, yes, a false passport he arrived in, when he was found out, he said, I want political asylum. And ever since he stayed here in Britain, he's been a pain in the arse and been preaching absolute hate speeches. Right? This guy is. If he'd been on YouTube, it wouldn't last the hour. That sort of guy. Right. So they couldn't find any reason to actually keep him in jail. The fact that he's actually wanted in Jordan, for instance, for arranging bombings and taking part in bombings, and he's even been tried in his absence, apparently. It's got nothing to do with it, because the British government, in their wisdom, they wanted to send him to Jordan, and then legally they found out that they couldn't send him there in case he got tortured, and therefore the evidence would be false. He doesn't want to go to Jordan, obviously, because they've got it in for him, which is surprising, really, because it is actually a Muslim country with the very laws that he wants. And for some reason, he thinks he wouldn't get a fair trial there. So there you go. Interesting guy. But we let him out, and he gets £1,000 a week from the government. And when he was arrested, he had over £170,000 on him. He's also been described in the Spanish court as Osama bin Laden's right-hand man in Europe. But despite all these things, we can't seem to get rid of him. And it's going to cost tens of thousands of pounds to watch his house, because he's out on bail. And isn't the world crazy? Absolutely crazy. I mean, what are we doing? It's so bizarre. Why don't we just say, sorry, whatever nationality he is, which does it say? Okay, doesn't say what nationality he is. Whatever nationality he actually is, let's kick him off back there. It's simple. Problem solved. Thousands of pounds it's going to cost to keep that guy in this country, and nobody really likes him, except a few of his own supporters. So, go away. Piss off. Am I being unfair? Am I really being unfair? Am I really, I think, am I being racist or something? No, this guy's a loony. Get rid of him. Now, if everything they say is true about him, and it's, having done some research, I think it may be, I think it might be time to, do something about it. Get your act together, governments. Get your act together. Peace.